What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Woke as Fuck. This is your host, Maximilian Webster, and I have an awesome guest with me today, Jacqueline. How do you say your last name?
Holmes.
Holmes. Okay, Jacqueline Holmes. I forgot to ask that. Jacqueline, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, maybe a little bit about your backstory or who it is you are, what you do.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Jacqueline. So I'm the owner of Luxem Consulting Group. So it's a boutique accounting firm. I service spiritual online entrepreneurs with bookkeeping and accounting services and courses. And then I also do some money mindset coaching as well. So that's really a huge part of my business.
Awesome. I love that. And you have do you have like a spiritual twist on your business, or is that just like something personal that you kind of bring into your business?
No, it definitely is. It's all my clients are basically in the spiritual online community. And yeah, it's definitely, I'm all about taking like the 5D money manifesting, all that good stuff, and bringing it down to the 3D level and helping everyone play by the rules at the 3D level.
I love that. You probably get asked this a lot, but I remember you telling me or seeing on one of your posts that you actually like manifested winning the lottery multiple times.
Yeah.
How the heck you probably get asked that all the time, but how the heck did that happen? I'm sure whoever's listening would love to hear a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, me too. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really crazy actually, because there's a little bit of a backstory, of course, because that's like how I manifested it. But I had quit my job, like my corporate job in September of 2015. And I was finishing up my master's. I was really broke. I was like struggling financially, struggling to get clients. I was always, I was really in a position where I had $0 to my name. Like I was paying my bills on credit cards, and that's basically how I was surviving, as like crazy as that sounds. And my boyfriend at the time, my now fiance Isaac, was the only one working. He had gotten laid off. Like his company had shut down unexpectedly one day, or it was like a 2-day process. They unexpectedly shut down. So it was just like a really crazy time of like financial struggle for me. And I had just like gotten off of this, basically given up a like corporate career and that path for myself. So it was a really crazy time. I started writing down a couple months later, I started writing down $98,475. Like that was just the number that came to my mind. That was a number that just, I don't know, like a download basically. Like it just felt very expansive for me. I wasn't even in the online spiritual community or anything like that. My business wasn't online. I didn't have a lot of like the business support I have now. So I just knew I wanted to manifest that number. And I just kind of focused on it, and I would do like money meditations on it, and I would go hiking, and, not with $1 to my name, but I would just be visualizing $98,475. And so blah, 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 business stuff happened. I eventually got my first client. Things started getting a little bit better, but so this is June 1st of 2016. I had finished up my first client project. I didn't have any work coming in. Like I didn't have any other clients. It was just my first client, and it was a really big client, but I didn't have any others coming in. And I basically had enough money to last me for 1 month. So until like June 30th. And so I knew that something had to happen really quickly. And it was like a do or die kind of moment. But for some reason in that time where I'm just like, oh, fuck, like, I guess I'll go back to work. Like I didn't know what the next step was for me. Because I didn't have any money left on my credit cards. It was like kind of one of those crunch times. And so I decided something in me just decided like, you know what, just don't worry about it. Just like leave it up to the universe. Like everything's going to work out. It's going to be fine. On June 10th, which is my birthday, my boyfriend at the time came home, and we were going to go out to dinner for my birthday with my mom. And we were actually running late, and I was, so pissed off at him because he was running late, and I'm like, what the hell, we're supposed to be getting over to dinner so we can, go meet my mom and whoever else we were meeting. And
you're like, there's free food coming, you better hurry up.
And so he sits me down. He's like, you need to sit down. And he had me visualize. So what he had done is he had gone to the bank and gotten $10,000 bands to put on $100 for us to go to the casino for my birthday. So he had put $10,000 bands on. He had done this before he bought the winning ticket, by the way. He had gone and got $10,000 bands at the bank. And like an hour before he bought the winning ticket. And then he had me sit there and visualize what it's going to feel like to hold $10,000. And he's like, open your eyes. This is a picture of this being $10,000 in your hands. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? Like, why are you doing this? Because he was just acting so weird. And I was like, did you win $10,000? And he's like, yeah, I actually won more than that. And he pulls out the next thing out of his pocket, and it's the scratch ticket with $100,000. And
oh my God, it
was just like, like, I don't even know how to like describe that feeling again. So yeah, that's the story.
That is crazy.
It was all just like this. Yeah, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. And then a couple months later, 9 months later, the following March, he actually won another $100,000.
Jesus
so
Christ.
We just had so much momentum going around that number. And I think, me focusing on that number so hard. And that's why I always say, like, I'm such a lazy manifester, because I did not do shit to get that money. Like, I did not even leave my house to get that money. And look how it came into my experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing multiple things. I'm hearing, like, first of all, you said you got this download for that very specific number, first of all. That's something that I've never heard before. Like, normally when I hear people manifesting money, they consciously think up things that they want to manifest, and they kind of go from there. But what I'm hearing you say is that the thing that was on its way to you made itself known to you, and then you took the steps as, did the money manifestation, just went on hikes, really added that physical component to it. And then, synchronistically, it came into your experience effortlessly. So I guess my next question, and this can kind of be like a conversation, but like, what do you think do you think there's a difference between like trying to force things to happen and like allowing them to happen? Because I feel like sometimes we get this idea of like really what we want to manifest, and like get really stuck on the idea. And then there's like I feel like there's like a divine plan. There's a higher plan out there that we kind of just have to surrender to. So what are some things that kind of went through your head, or like what you were experiencing in that time between you manifesting, that really allowed you to let go and surrender?
Yeah. And I think I actually still like go so back and forth with that, because I'm still like so up in the air about, yes, we create our own reality, and we're always manifesting everything into our lives. And then also there has to be another component of it. Like, that's not just it. You know what I mean? There is like, our soul path, our spirit guides, like all of that is it's like a 50-50, you know what I mean? So, so yeah, I think when you are coming up with a number to manifest, to me, that I've never, I guess I've never taken so little action and received so much money before.
Yeah.
So like, to me, that is proof that it's not about the trying to make it happen. It's about, like you were saying, like the allowing it in. And I think that most people, and I think especially most women, especially the women I work with, struggle with that part of it. They feel like they could go out and make it happen. They could go out and make $100,000, but like actually allowing it that easy is not that's the hard part. For those of us that know how to manifest, like people that actually know how to manifest things, that's the hard part, is actually allowing it in.
Yeah, exactly. There's a really big distinction between allowing and trying to make it happen. I mean, thank you for your honesty, because, there's a lot of people out there that they're 100% confident in manifestation, and it kind of feels inauthentic to me, like just to say that you are 100% creator of your own reality, but not like allowing that space for the divine to be in charge, that doesn't really feel real to me. So what I say to people is like, dream, like have desires, have fun, play, like what, just imagine like what would it feel like if you had like your desires. But there is a component where you have to let go of the need for control and the surrender, because you know, trying to make everything happen and then it doesn't happen, it leaves you in the space of like not believing in miracles, not believing in good things happening. So something that I've been doing and something that I talk to people about is like, write out your goals, like write out your intentions. You have these goals and intentions for a reason, but and allow for there to be wiggle room. Allow yourself to receive more than you expected. Allow yourself to like let the outcome just be the outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and stop focusing on how it's going to show up, and and narrowing the path that it can actually show up, because you're so focused on how it needs to look. And yeah, like the control piece of it, like that's totally what it is. I think for a lot of people is you innately feel like you want to control it, you know, but yeah. I
mean, I think that's so powerful too, because you know, you were doing that money manifestation stuff and not really that much of it, but you know, you weren't the one who physically were the channel for that to come through. Like it came through your boyfriend, your fiance. So it's like, it's crazy how like it doesn't have to come just through you. And that's the funny thing about money and manifestations in general. Like sometimes, you know, you may think it's going to be directly coming from you through your efforts, through your clients, through the work that you're doing. But you know, something funny that I saw the other day, I was watching this YouTube video and this man was you know, he was at the end of he was at the wit's end, you know, rent was due the next day, and he was just like, you know, God, I have hope, I have faith that my rent is going to get paid tomorrow. And I kid you not, this motherfucker came and knocked on the door and was like, here you go. How much do you pay for rent? He was like, oh, like $1,000. Like, here you go, here's $1,000. Like, what? It's like,
what? Yeah.
This stuff happens, and it's like you really need to just release that control. And I feel like that is the biggest component of, you know, life in general, you know, just letting that control go.
Yeah, totally. And especially because it's like the universe is there to surprise you. And when you are trying to control it, you're putting the fear, what that's coming from is almost always coming from a place of fear that it's not going to work out the way you want it to. And so when that's the primary vibration that you're putting out, when you're trying to manifest something is fear that it's not going to work out the same way, then it's like, that's what you're attracting. You know what I mean? So it's just like this self-fulfilling loop.
Jacqueline, I love that. I love how you said that the universe is out to surprise you, because that is so true. Like, wow, I don't think I've ever heard someone say it like that. It's like the surprising part is the most exciting part. Like, that's why I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I am open to surprises. I'm open to like my jaw dropping. I'm open to miracles. It's like, I have my desires, but honestly, fuck them. Like, I'm just doing that because I want to have like some physical, tangible like route of like, I just don't feel like I'm in my ship just floating wanderlessly. I mean, just, you know, without a direction. Like, I like to have direction in my life, but I also leave that room for like, okay, like I have this direction, but I mean, and you know, I'm open to surprises. And I think that's a wonderful intention to have. That's a wonderful thing to keep in the back of your mind. It's like, just like imagine as God or the universe is like a prankster, or like wants to make you laugh, wants to make you cry, wants to make you feel like joyous, and like you need to just surrender to that.
Yes. And it has a sense of humor. I mean, you can't say that the universe doesn't have a sense of humor. So I think for a lot of people that are stepping away from like the, you know, God or naming their connection with source, God, like sometimes it helps for some of us that have never maybe had that association to like associate it with a relationship with a person, you know, like, you can't say that the day I get a flat tire and all this crazy shit happens in my life, or, you know, X, Y, and Z happens, and it's just like one whole day that you just can't help but laugh because it's so like ridiculous. Like that's a sense of humor. You know what I mean? That's like, the universe pulling a prank on you.
Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, and it happened in funny ways. Like even today, I was driving around my grandma to some appointments, and I was just like sitting there and I was like, oh, I could really use some. I was craving some fried chicken. Like I was like, all right, I'm not gonna spend it on myself because like I don't need to be wasting my money on fried chicken. And we're like pulling up to the house and just like right before we get home, she's like, I think I want to get you some fried chicken. And I was like sitting there
Wow.
because it's like this shit happens all the time.
Yes.
I think it's so funny. My other grandma back in Hawaii used to do the same exact thing. And this is a really funny thing when it comes to surrender and really like allowing things to come to you naturally. I remember very specifically one time I was like, back in Hawaii, I was like hella broke. And I was like, oh crap, I need seat covers. I just got a car and my room, every time I get out of the shower, like there's no carpet. So like I'm just walking on the hardwood floor. I was like, I could really use some like area rugs, right? Tell me why, like not 1 to 2 days later after that, like I almost forgot about that I needed them. And my grandma calls me up and she's like, oh, hey, come over. I have these seat covers and I have this area rug if you need it. I was like,
wow.
What the fuck?
Wow. That is so cool.
It was like so specific, Jacqueline. Like what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. And I think the smaller manifestations like that, like when we allowed in $100,000, like those kinds of things were still like just so jaw dropping to me. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things were still so exciting. And so it's like, it's a muscle, you have to like work your manifestation muscle. And like, the more you're looking to be supported and the more you're looking to be like taken care of by the universe, like the more evidence of that you're going to find.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. Okay. So speaking of money, speaking of surrender, speaking of letting go of control, I know that you work with, finances, and I've seen in your posts like allowing someone to help you, excuse me, with your money, especially as a business owner. A lot of us, we feel like we have to do all of ourselves, and I'm wondering, like, what are some amazing things that you've seen happen for your clients once they've like released that control of trying to do everything by themselves?
Yeah. So I love working with, so there's a couple different like types of people I work with. The people I work with on like a one-on-one level they've usually like grown their business like super fast in a year. Like maybe they were earning like $20,000 or $50,000 in a year. And then like the next year they earn 150 or 200,000 or 300,000 or something. So a lot of times people come to me in this like, I need help. Like they're just in this like crazy,
I got too much money.
like what's going on here? So it's really fun helping that group of people because usually I'm like the second or the first or second person that they've actually brought in their business for support. Like usually it's a VA or an assistant, and then me as like support for their business. And so that feels really great because it is difficult, like shifting over, bringing someone into your finances. And especially if you're a coach and if you're in like, the online spiritual community, entrepreneurs, like that's a delicate thing. And like, you don't want to bring someone in that has like a broke mindset or someone that's going to give you too many rules or make it a really restrictive, contractive process rather than like an expansive process. Mm-hmm. So when my clients do hire me, like more often than not, like I would say probably like 75% of my clients after they hire me, like go on immediately in the next couple months to like end up making way more money because that whole ball of stress that they had about a certain subject in relation to their money is like completely off their plate. You know what I mean? It's not something that's prevalent because I think for subconsciously for a lot of people stress about earning too much money because they're stressed about paying a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
And once you feel like the unknowns are taken care of with that, and once you feel like the relief in that area, then you're able to manifest more money because you're not scared of making money. You're ready for it. You're ready for more money into your experience.
Wow, that's so powerful. I hear you saying a lot of people are afraid to make money because they're afraid to lose money. Like how freaking counterintuitive is that? But it's so true, right? It's like a lot of us, we have all these, we say we want to make money, but then we have all these little subconscious or conscious beliefs that like, it's going to get taken away from me. I'm going to have to pay taxes. Like, I'm going to mess something up. You know, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to become someone that I'm not. But I think that's such a powerful testimony to show that, like, you know, of releasing control, surrendering, and like allowing yourself to put your money in the hands of others, and even just to pass money along. Like that's what money is all about. It's like it wants to be passed around. No one owns money. We just pass around money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't know. What else can we talk about? There's so much juicy stuff in here so far.
I know. It's totally up to you. I mean, yeah, I'll talk about anything.
Well, I guess, let me see. Well, if you could scream something off of the rooftops, like if there's anything that, you know, if anyone could get anything out of this talk today, like what is your one lesson that you would like to leave people with?
Oh, wow. That is a very loaded question. So
Sorry.
I would scream many things. But I think that, like, with my business, and I think, so we're like developing this new, you know, this basically like this new economy with these awesome spiritual businesses. And like, if you were to explain this to someone that's like your great grandma's age or like their parents, like if you were to explain that we actually make money on the internet now, like servicing people with our spiritual gifts, like that would just blow people's minds, like back then, you know what I mean? And so
no, even today, like, sorry to cut you off, but like, like I was talking to my grandma before I go to work, like today was like the first day she like started asking me like detailed questions about what I do, and I was like, I'm just gonna like give you the watered down version because I don't think you can comprehend like literally what's wrong. But go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and like my great grandma, even like my grandma too, they were such hard workers, and they were everything was manual labor, and like everything was physical. You know, they were taking care of kids. They were, you know, hand washing laundry. Like we have so much, all the technology has made it so like we are now able to focus on our spiritual gifts, and like what a amazing time that we're in this like generation right now to be able to like actually be able to make money from our gifts. And so I think a huge part of that is like coming back to our intuition around business and not feeling like we need to play by the rules that everyone else plays by, and using our intuition and using our spiritual gifts as the foundation of our business instead of how 99% of businesses actually run it, which is about profit first or about, you know, other things first. And intuition is usually the last on that list, you know?
Right. Yeah. I'm hearing you say back to the basics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And like have your business bloom from your intuition and not the other way around. Like, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really interesting you bring that up because, you know, just the time that I've spent here I've been in Texas for like a month now, and you know, I work probably less hours than my dad. My dad works 6 days a week, probably like 12 hours a day, and he cannot wrap his head around the fact that I make money online. And 90% of the time I'm just chilling in my room. Like when I'm not chilling in my room, I'm a nap king. Like I'll take naps, I'll go for walks and do all these things. And he's just like talking to my grandma, like what is he doing? Does he have a job? Like he should be working. Like, and I'm like, I am working. It's just, we don't have to work as hard as you. So I feel like as we embrace our gifts, as we embrace our intuition, as we feel into our these new businesses, it's like, we're breaking generational cycles. Like we don't have to work as hard as our ancestors, and we're doing the work that they weren't willing or able to do. And I think that's such a gift. And it's like, if we can do this now in this generation, imagine how amazing it's going to be for our children and their children's children.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
I love that. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on here today. I know you had another podcast, so I'm not going to drain you dry on. How can our listeners get a hold of you? How can we get in contact with you if we're wanting to?
Yeah. So my website is luxembabe.com. So LUXOM babe.com. I'm on Instagram at luxembabe. And then I have a Facebook group for spiritual. It's mostly women. It's Luxa Money Babes. So we go through money mindset, all that kind of stuff. And
what? I want to be a babe.
Yeah. And yeah, I do like weekly trainings in there and everything like that. And then actually on my website right now, I have a free mindset training. So it's a mindset of abundant bookkeeping. So it's basically the mindset to implement into your business before you start a bookkeeping system. So it's really helpful.
I love that. You're going to see a random request for your group, Maxine Webster.
You can join. It's for feminine energy. So if you're in your feminine energy in the group, then that's fine.
Oh, you know it. You already know it. That's so funny. You know, it's really funny after really embracing this spiritual, feminine side. It's like I've been added to so many like babe groups or like spiritual boss babes, and I'm like, guys, like I'm a guy, but they'll be like, oh, you're a babe too. I'm like, yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jacqueline. This was such a fun conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay,
all right,
bye.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Woke as Fuck, and we will see you next time. Peace.